was no way I was going to show my face at Nitro World Games without the triple flip. Some people believe in God. I believe in Travis's trust.
Yeah, stop being a fucking pussy.
How do you get away from these thoughts? Whack it off.
Oh, you won't fuck me, huh? You won't fuck me. You gon' fuck me, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Outspoken. This is the first episode we have filmed in the last couple of months. As you can see, we have slightly upgraded the set today. We are joined by an extra special, extra handsome, extra juicy, shredded, diced, talented bad boy himself. None other than Harry Bink.
Hey.
Thanks for joining us, my brother.
Thank you.
I don't know what to start. I'm a little bit shy because he's so fucking sexy. Fuck me. It's been a pretty wild few weeks for you, eh? The Nitro Games, triple backflips and whatnot.
Yeah, it was gnarly. It was something that I thought about a lot my whole life, and then for it to all happen, I don't know. It's pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Take me through it all. Like, was it like pretty nervous leading up to it? I know there was a few things. You've had shitloads of injuries in the last few months and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, people always say what you do your whole life, like, or chipping away at just being a better human on a day-to-day basis, it all adds up one day. And that's, like, kind of what it felt like happened, just staying true to yourself, like, through injuries, COVID. Like, I used to spend under 100 days at home a year touring the world, just full rock star lifestyle. So then to get injured and then go through COVID and everything slow down, and dude, I'm flat out getting like one tour for the year now. So it's like, it felt like
Do you like being here more?
I love being on the Gold Coast, and I like, people always, when they have downtime, they want to go on holidays. I'm like, I just want to be home and like
good for routine as well, you know?
Yeah.
I know what it's like personally traveling. I don't do tours, not as intense the stuff as you, but even back in the day when I've traveled fucking 10, 15 times a year to different countries, month here, a few weeks there, it gets so draining. Yeah. It's hard to keep up with, but it's nice to be home, routine, grounded, you know?
It's sick.
And I can cuddle with Lachlan.
Yeah, we do.
Toss him off a little bit.
We do get a lot of cuddling in on the days off. But
sometimes we're naked and put the heater on in the room and shut all the windows, take a few Viagras and just see what happens.
As long as you don't make eye contact, it's sweet.
But I'm not supposed to say much about that. But I want to ask about the triple backflip stuff, because you just kind of absolutely nailed that like the other day.
Yeah.
How long did you train for that? And like, you got injured trying to like learn how to do that thing? Was that when you hurt your ribs?
Nah. So a triple flip is something that I've always wanted to do. It was the next thing that hadn't been accomplished in the sport at like competition or anything.
Of course.
So it was a goal to bring that to the comp. There was a couple of us that were going after it that wanted to get it done. Well, there's only actually 3 people in the world that have even attempted it.
And you're one of them.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the same room as greatness.
Sorry, 4 people, including Travis Pastrana.
That's insane, though.
But he couldn't actually.
But all 3 out of 3 landed it, and then Travis was one who couldn't.
Travis is the only one that's actually attempted the triple flip that hasn't conquered it.
So you're better than him.
Yeah, he was the first one too.
Throwing Travis.
Technically, you're the best. He's done some nut shit though, eh?
Yeah, he's a savage. I couldn't even compare myself to that guy because he's a very talented.
He's the
human.
man.
Yeah.
You're just being humble though. I think that you guys are pretty equally talented.
Yeah, it's an interesting formula. And then obviously technology catching up these days with airbag landers, the progression. We are very lucky. There's lots of lots involved with it, but it's also the start of all new journeys as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because I'd watched the documentary just a few weeks ago about the triple flip. Before I knew you were doing it, we just happened to watch it, and just seeing what goes into that triple flip that old mate did was mental. Like, that was just seeing the preparation. So I couldn't even imagine how you prepared for your flip. And you had to make a bunch of like changes to your bike, your ramp, everything, didn't you?
Yeah.
To kind of, because he got a massive run up back in the day also, and yours was only like, I think I saw you take like 15, 20 steps.
Yeah.
For your run up.
Yeah, which is unique. I've always been one that like stops right before the jump and then just tries to get as much power as I can out on the up ramp. Yeah. That's how you go higher as well, coming in slower and just.
Well, that's what it looked like. Yeah, because you looked like you were just kind of coasting nice and cruising. Then the last few minutes, like, boom, and you just fucking hot.
Yeah. So 3 months ago, I was at X Games, and that injury that we were talking about with the ribs, I had a bad crash at X Games. I broke 2 ribs, tore some cartilage, and did my AC joint in my shoulder.
Yep.
Pretty sore.
Ribs suck, man. I broke a rib when I was playing footy. I hate, man. Rib pain's horrid.
How good's the sneezing?
Just sneezing, coughing, even a deep breath.
Punches,
just
horrible. It's like, your mate's just up and
you heard him twice, didn't you?
Yeah, so I thought that every time I've had injuries, if it's a broken bone, I've always believed you can just push through the pain.
Yep.
Ligaments, you have to listen to your body and surrender to it.
Yep.
So broken ribs, I was like, it's just pain in my stomach. It'll be fine. I kept using my body. I kept training really hard. Within 2 weeks of doing the injury, I actually was back doing shows in Australia just because I love keeping my flow state and mindset and everything busy. And I thought coming from X Games, my training was really high. I was going to keep all the momentum coming off that into World Games to conquer the triple flip.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to stay in animal mode, savage mode, and I didn't surrender and let it rest properly, heal properly. I then 2 months later it was all jacked that bad. I did a trick in the air. I wasn't even from impact on the ground, and I re-broke 2 ribs in a new spot though.
Like whilst you were doing the trick?
Yeah, just in the air. It was a second jump of the day. My body wasn't warmed up properly. Yeah. And because the muscles were so discombobulated, it's just where your muscles start switching off and your back doesn't work properly or evenly. They broke, and then I'm 4 weeks out of Nitro World Games with this goal of wanting to learn a triple flip, and I just re-broke my ribs, and I'm just like, fuck.
So you pretty much completed it whilst not even being at 100%. Like, you were still partly injured, really.
Yeah, and then it gets to because the triple flip is so gnarly, it's nearly like maths to a certain point.
Yep.
We had a moon booter, the biggest ramp that's in Nitro Circus, like for the competition. So we jacked that by 320 mil, and we added an 800 mil extension on the top. And just to boot you higher. And then we made this ramp, it was way bigger, and we were hitting it a lot harder, and we were jumping exactly the same distance. So it just made...
There's so much like little things that, like, to someone, even like myself, I'm not crazy educated. I love watching it and stuff, but to the average person who doesn't understand like the extreme, like the lengths that you guys go to, there's so many little details. People watching, they're like, oh, cool, he's just riding a bike doing a flip. But there's like every little detail of the jump, the bike, your movements, the training, the warm-ups, everything. Yeah. There's so much detail.
It was gnarly on this one. And I've always, as like you boys know me, I've always been the just, I don't care, just huck it, just go and party and go ride a dirt bike and let's live the rock star life. Like just being at 100 mile an hour and not listening to how my body works, how my equipment works, so much stuff. So when I had the problem with the ribs, I had to like then surrender and listen to my body so much to figure out what was going on, so I could avoid the problem of re-breaking them again or whatever it was. I had to be very smart. I was running out of time. So then all my knowledge with my body wasn't good, and like I wasn't mentally that strong. So I went to my dirt bike and I went to a mechanic. I threw a couple like grand at him and just said, hey man, let's make this bike as light as possible. Let's figure out what we can do with it. And I was driving to and from his house like every day, and we're trying so many different things. I actually had my dirt bike catch on fire because I was testing so many different things. We took the starter motor
while you were on it?
I was in my garage, and we took the starter motor out of it.
Yep. And
we made a custom clip for the electricals, so the electricals so it had like a complete circuit without the starter motor. I was testing it, started it, and it caught on fire under the petrol tank in my garage. Now, mind you, both my bikes just got burnt down at my mechanic shop 2 weeks before this. So I just had 2 dirt bikes burnt down, gone. I went and bought a new one, just built this thing, and I'm doing all this crazy modification stuff to it because I want to get the triple flip done. Yep. And there was no way I was going to show my face at Nitro World Games without the triple flip, because I was like, it's just not in my style to. And my 3-year monster contract, it runs out this year, so it's like renewing next year. And I'm like, I live comfortably off my monster contract, and if I didn't have my monster contract, the reality is I'd probably have to get a real job or So I really appreciate all their support, and but. For me, going into World Games, I just DNF'd at X Games. I DNF'd at X Games the year before. So I had a bit of a rough run with injuries and whatnot. And
well, that was one thing I wanted to ask you about, like, back before, you know, like, even myself, you know, I've had all these back problems and joint problems for years. Nothing probably as extreme as you, but it takes a massive toll mentally, hey? Like, it can put you in a fucking dark, dark place, you know? It can be so hard to get yourself out of that dark place, to keep pushing. It's not like the physical pain that's annoying. It's just like being drained from the pain and just like the setbacks. You can't do as much as you want to do. And people like yourself, like a high achiever, fast paced, 1,000,000 mile an hour, you're a fucking maniac. You want to do big things, try stuff that people haven't achieved before and do this shit. So I was like, it weighs you down sometimes when you're injured and you can't do things. Like my back all these years. I haven't been able to do boxing when I wanted to do it. I haven't been able to fuck to my full potential. I haven't been able to I haven't been able to train as hard as I'd like to train.
I've seen those hip thrusts.
Not too bad. I just fucking like a rabbit, like a little Duracell bunny. But yeah, it does take a toll, and it makes you tired, and it can be grumpy, and just takes a toll. It's just fucking.
No, that is actually my favorite topic because everyone, it's like going through a breakup, or she fucked me over, or and you sob, or you just be responsible for it, and it's not. But I just love flipping thoughts. So when you're in a dark place and you're injured, it's like, well, it's not what you can't do. It's like what you get to focus on now in these slow.
What can you do with what your current situation is?
Always something to work on, and you always think that you don't have time to do things. So if you are injured and you can't do what you love most, there's so many other little things you can be doing.
It's like me, bro. After my spine surgery, that don't lift anything, don't walk hard, don't train. 1 week later, I'm in here with a 1 kilo dumbbell just doing bicep curls because I'm like, I want to keep a bit of muscle. I want to work out. I want to feel that endorphin rush. Like, I'll do anything. It's like, people, you just got to make the most with it. I think it's impressive how you just kept pushing through the injuries, got there, fucking nailed the triple backflip, and I think it's pretty sexy.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So were you jumping a lot of mental barriers after your injuries and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was, but it was nothing new to me. It's something that I've always done. Like when I broke my femur, people were like, "Oh, how are you so? Like, why are you happy? Why are you smiling? Like, what?" But it could just be so much worse. And then like even when I'm injured, I'm like, I'm still in Australia on the Gold Coast. Like we could be in a country where you're still trying to go, like you're struggling to get fresh water.
It's a good mindset to have. Is just like think about it, like everything could be worse.
Yeah.
A lot of our problems here are first world problems.
Oh, we are so spoiled.
But we tend to forget it. A lot of people forget it, including myself. I've forgotten it many times. I'll sit there and be like, oh, fucking this is going wrong. I'm like, fuck my life, blah, blah, blah. But then you're like, compare it to like 99% of the world, and we've got it pretty good out here.
Yeah, I think you got to, dude, it's so gnarly the trick your subconscious mind plays on you. And you always got to be talking to it. You always got to be listening to it because it just dives you into depression. Like, it just, your subconscious mind is just forever with the technology and where social media is at, and how people flex and how people aren't honest to a certain extent. It just, your subconscious mind just corners people to depression. Like,
sometimes you got to be self-aware about it. Like you have to notice it's happening. You have to really say, okay, this is my subconscious mind making me think like this, and then you can just work your way out of it.
Well, I think a lot of my mental health issues over the years and my struggles and when I've been in dark places have come from my injuries have been probably the start foundation. Well, not even things going on in my life or people or anything like that. You know, I was really happy when I was a broke kid just fucking running around barefoot, going to the beach, doing whatever the fuck I wanted to, you know, and I've got so much more now in my life and I feel like it's even harder. But it's like the injuries, because like when you're so active and you want to do shit, it's just like it can put you in such a dark rut. And then for me, for example, you know, I resorted to taking painkillers, which then causes stomach and fucking brain problems. And you're like, fuck, I don't take these. So you start smoking weed. Cool. And now I'm addicted. Now I'm fucking addicted to weed. And all these problems just keep coming. Then before you know it, your brain chemistry is just fucked. And you're in this dark rut. And you're like, how the fuck do I get out of it? You try to go sober and you have withdrawals. Pretty good at the moment, for the most part. But yeah, I know what you mean, bro. It's like it's hard to when you're in that rut.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's impressive that you pulled yourself through that and still fucking nailed it.
Yeah, definitely. It just comes down to the conversations you have with yourself and how you flip things.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then especially the formulas I've learnt with breakups, injuries, or with sport, they're nearly the same formula, and it's not if you break a bone or if you have a really bad breakup, or you don't go, well, why me? Look what I don't have, or corner yourself and think.
Be grateful for the things you do still have and what you can do.
Yeah, just flip it and just look at what you can focus on and what you get.
It's a good recipe there for anyone watching. If anyone needs any advice, I rate that.
Stop. Yeah, don't be a little bitch.
Stop being a fucking pussy.
And just be great. Like, have a look around and look at what we have. We can get in a car. You can go on your phone and get a stranger to pick you up and drive you somewhere for $15. Like, what?
We're surrounded by a nice beach. There's,
there's
everything you want here. We've got good roads, good healthcare, good beaches. The weather's okay most of the time.
Yeah.
Good shops, good food, everything. We live in a good spot. When you start, you forget those little things. Well, I have many times. You get so caught up in that chaotic, hectic life, traveling around, doing things, trying to achieve things, all the fun, and you forget the small things that really do bring the most happiness.
Got to practice that gratitude.
Yeah, exactly right. But that's what with us, showing the ice baths and things like that. It's making you surrender to doing something you don't want to do. Your brain is saying, "Get me out of here," and it's your spoilt side of you. So it's nice to just remind yourself who's in control.
Yeah, if
Little
your
things
mind's
like
running
that.
100 mile an hour, an ice bath will cancel that very quickly.
Yeah.
It puts you in a very uncomfortable situation, but then it gets very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good after.
Ice baths are good. Saunas, sitting on fire. I really like it.
But yeah, so with all the thought patterns of it all, I think trying to control my mind over all the other years of not leading in depression when I've had injuries and I've sat quiet for so long. Now when it all unfolded and everything has worked for me in the last month, it was just what I was doing consistently over all the years before it.
Yep.
And then leading into this month, I knew it was heating up and I was like, man, if I get this, how good it's going to mean to me, everything. But I already accepted that it happened before I even attempt my first triple flip. I seen it, I visualized it, and I believed in it. And I literally...
Manifestation, brother.
Yeah, and it's just all I thought about.
Have you ever read
and
the book called
I
The
owned it.
Secret?
No, I haven't. I've
Sure.
heard about it.
It's very much like that. Like visualize, like see, achieve, believe. Sort of. Let's
Sick.
see, believe, achieve, whatever the fucking however it goes. But
Yeah.
no, I'm a big believer in those things. That's like I think that really helped me in the beginning. Like I watched this movie called The Secret, and I read the book.
Yeah.
All about like the law of attraction, manifesting things and stuff. Like see it up here. Just keep telling yourself it's already there. You've already got it.
Yeah.
Just mentally strength. Like my mental state has just gone every couple of years that's gone by since I started this. And like I'm not ashamed to admit it because like I definitely was happier when I had fucking nothing when I was a kid. And it's just easier life. But it's just about trying to find ways to balance it all out and be happier, I think. You know, like I have my moments still, but it's like for the most part, things are all good.
Yeah.
And you look
So
around.
life's like unlocking levels. Sometimes you get stuck on levels, and
Yep.
then with another level comes
like a
another
video game.
level.
It's like a video game. You just keep getting through the levels.
Yeah.
Get to the boss level and just fuck that motherfucker up.
Yeah, it is gnarly though because it does come with another level comes another devil. And like
100%.
you got to take down those devils on every level. Like, it's
No,
gnarly.
100%. I can relate to that. How old were you when you started riding like motorbikes, doing all this crazy shit?
I was really lucky. My dad, he wanted to give us all really good opportunities. He was into his speedway, and so he put me on a bike when I was 2 years old. He was really into like his speed car racing and took us water skiing and gave us options at everything. And my brother and I never looked at anything past a dirt bike. We loved it.
Yep.
When we were 16, he was like, all right, now you have to pay for it yourself and do it all yourself. We were racing. I never started freestyle. I couldn't afford to keep doing it. So then I started a carpentry apprenticeship and I stood on a job site and I'm like, fuck, like I've been living in the excuse of not starting freestyle because I don't have access to a ramp. Yeah. I just did my first 10-hour day on a construction site. I'm like, fuck, my ramp would have nearly been half built if I just put this much work.
Sort of time into it.
I'm like, what have I been doing? And it was the biggest reality check. And then I remember making the promise to myself when I was 17 on a job site, like if I could do whatever I wanted in these hours to work towards myself, anything, like just use these work hours, would you use these hours and never slack off and put your feet up on a day like this? So still to this day, I always talk to that promise with myself, and that's why I get up on weekdays all the time at 5 a.m. and just go train, and then I can do whatever I want all day.
Sets the tone for the day when you train early, I find.
Yeah.
Even lately, myself being back into a bit of training, it's like you wake up, get a good workout in first thing in the morning, maybe an ice bath or whatever it is, and it just sets the tone all day. Your brain calms down a bit, you focus, you just feel good.
Yeah, and to imagine if someone said to you, you can do whatever you want in these hours, you just have to be working. Just do your own thing.
You have to do something in those hours.
I think it's where it all
You
starts.
can't go
right?
home and just lay on bed, you know.
And
what
then
I
it
mean?
was just that simple. Everything, it was like, I get to do whatever I want today. And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Even if I just mow the lawns and just make sure I just have a spotless house. Like, just whatever it is, you just have to be on the clock on those hours. And then even when you are not on the clock, just be grateful that you just in your head have the idea I should be working right now.
I find that's the hardest time for a lot of people when they're not busy or you're not working. It's like when you're sitting around, that's when you can just get alone with your thoughts and start overthinking or your mind races. So it's like you said, when you do have those off days and you're not doing any work or anything productive as such, like be grateful, appreciate the small things, do little things, go on the fucking beach or catch up with a friend, you know, like all the small things in life. So
Definitely.
So when you were 16, 17, who were you watching, like riding? Was it Travis and all that?
Yeah.
Like, who was your idol? Who was like, I want to be him? Who was that guy?
This topic, it was Travis Pastrana. I grew up watching like all the Nitro Circus DVDs. I watched them like hundreds of times over, and some people believe in God. I believe in Travis Pastrana. He's my Bible. He just led the way of action sports, and just his why was right.
Yeah, he was pushing boundaries left, right, center.
He earned a lot of money in his career, but he never was ever money hungry, and he never made a decision over a dollar sign. He did it because his why was right and the passion, and he built everyone up around him, and he took everyone with him, and his why to life was the strongest gift that I think anyone could ever give me, any Bible, any religion. And Travis gave that to me as a human. Whether if he sees it like that or not, I've told him this plenty of times.
Well, that's the best
told him
thing.
on the beers on the weekend.
Everyone should put passion before money.
Yeah.
And so that's how it all starts for me. I never even give a shit about making any money from making videos.
I've seen that massively in you.
Like,
in
I
your
never
work
cared.
the last few years, like massively.
Yeah, I never really cared that much about making money. I was like, I just want to make stupid videos on my Facebook. I was doing it on MySpace when I had MySpace. Like,
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it because I was passionate. I loved it. I wanted to make people laugh or annoyed people or just confuse people. And I think when people do things for the right reasons, like you said, he has an important why. He just wants to do it because he loves it.
Yeah.
It's creative, it's funny, it's wild, he enjoys it. He's not like, I'm doing this because I want to get rich from it.
Yep.
But then a lot of the time, if you are passionate about something, you become a master of it eventually, and the money does come. It's like, and it's nice. It's nice to have financial freedom in that, but it's not the be all end all, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if your why's right, you have unlimited fuel. If you have unlimited fuel, you can go anywhere.
100%.
So your why, and then how powerful your why is the powerful of your petrol, basically.
And you get a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, it's easy to say that when they've got money and they're in there." Like, what? You think they were all born rich? Like, you think like I come from a pretty poor family. I don't know what Travis Pastrana's background is, but I mean, I don't reckon he grew up with a silver spoon up his ass, getting handed everything from his parents. You know, like.
Oh, and those kids that do have the money or the support, they actually get fucked even harder.
Oh yeah,
I feel sorry
no life
for-
skills.
Yeah, and they're the parents
Ungrateful.
that do stuff for their kids.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. Like, make your kids walk to school to like get them just make life hard for you.
A lot of people I grew up
they're
with.
gonna have it easier.
Toughen them
life
up,
in the
exactly.
long
You
run.
got,
Exactly,
I
it's
think
very
it's better.
true.
That's why I said I
100%.
compare it. I
Love,
compare it.
affection, polite, but fucking make those
Good
little
manners,
guys work.
yeah, exactly.
Pull them up on things.
Yeah.
I compare it as well. So in my hometown, even like the rich kids or people that grew up rich and I don't know what they're doing now. And it's like, I know through the later years after school or whatever, it's like a lot of people weren't that happy. It's like if they grew up, they have to really work hard for anything and they don't know what like it's like to earn something and appreciate it when you get it. It's just like, oh, hey, here's a Porsche for your 15th or something or fucking, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, cool, cheers, dad. But it's like for me,
It's haunting.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's good you said. I think growing up in either a middle class or even a lower class family is the best way to grow up because you grow up grateful. You're more motivated to break that cycle and make money and provide for your family, friends, whoever's around you. And I think it's best to be that way. Like growing up from like poverty.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's good.
Well, I think the biggest goal in life is to walk around without a 20-kilo weight on your head. So, and that without having weight is just from being at peace with yourself and understanding why you're doing things.
Yep.
Why, like understanding the long term of things. Because if you're not going through your days confused, like you're at peace and then everything makes sense and you float through your days.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest goal in life. And I think that's the richest currency in the world of understanding all those patterns. And that comes through self-journey, self-love, discipline, all that stuff. So if you're growing up in a rich family with no like structure or just reality,
You kind of got to figure it out yourself a
you're gonna
bit.
get fucking really hit hard in
Oh,
the
yeah.
long run. And then you're going to go through all the problems with your love life, your friendship,
Definitely.
your peers, like it just everything crashes down on those people. Not that you want it to, but they're the patterns that I see.
Yeah. No, I would agree for sure.
Well, I had a question because it blew my mind when I saw it on your story. You talk about technology and how things have gotten a lot better. So you use the big airbags now.
Yeah.
With your foam pits, you just said they are covered with snakes. Bro, you would never catch me in a fucking foam
That's
pit
the current
ever. If I know
question.
there's snakes in there, I'm not going anywhere near that thing.
That's the
Fuck
current
that.
question. How safe/dangerous are foam pits?
Nah, fuck, I'm dangerous, bro.
This is a really good question. Foam pits are outdated now. We still use them though. I think they're outdated. I don't like using them. They still are softer than the airbags because if you land on your head, you're in foam, and so
True.
but they're death traps.
But you head eye to eye with
So
a fucking cobra.
Our dirt bikes weigh 110 kilos. They got petrol in them. They got a hot steaming engine. Like it's boiling hot.
Yeah, I can
Now,
imagine.
when you jump in a old dusty foam pit, there's all like crumbs of bits of foam that's been baked in the sun, so it's very flammable. If the bike lands upside, if you land on your
Oh, so
head,
those motherfuckers light on fire?
yeah, we've lost a few good friends through.
Really?
Oh, really?
Getting trapped.
Like quite a few
Oh,
people
whoa.
have actually died in them.
Yeah, they go
Oh,
up.
wow.
I didn't know
so
that.
you land like so. if you land on your head with the 110 kilo bike on top of you falling from 10 meters high, it's going to drive you to the bottom of the foam pit. Now there's snakes at the bottom of the
Yeah, I
foam
feel like
pit.
I feel like a dick for being scared of the snakes now.
So when we build foam pits, you get tires and you put tires all at the bottom. So if you hit the bottom, you got a bit of spring. Yep. But then all the snakes live in the tires down the bottom.
Have you seen a few?
All the time. We're pulling. Every time we go down there, we're pretty much pulling a snake out of there. But they are pythons. So if there's, but the other day we pulled a king brown snake.
Oh no!
The brown snake's skin. Sorry, the skin. It was about the length of this table, just sitting on top of the foam.
So he's like, somewhere there.
Yeah, we're like fuck. But when we start, there's a crane on the side of the foam pit. That's how we get the bikes in and out of the foam pit. So when we start the generator for it, it rattles the hell out of the containers, and it rattles the foam, and they go to the bottom. Once they go to the bottom, they're not going to really come back up. And when you land, it's like the bikes have a lot of vibration. It jolts the foam. They
just keeps them down there.
They get scared. They're gone.
I would just throw a bunch of fucking petrol in a match.
Oh man!
If there's brown snakes.
Yeah, brown snakes aren't good. And being where our freestyle compound is, like, just we're on the Gold Coast, tropical.
I would love to come see it sometime.
Yeah, well, I'd love to have you guys.
I might try do something on a push bike when my back's better.
Be careful what you wish for.
I'd love to use the foam pit, but just fuck the snakes, man. Wouldn't catch me.
Well, that's where the airbags are good. So then, sorry, we have the fire hazard. Like, I've landed on my head so many times in foam pits. Trapped, dark, black. You're jammed in the most awkward position you could think of. So, and then you have your helmet. You got this little piece.
Oh, it's giving me claustrophobia.
So you got to breathe really calm, and you got to like you're trapped.
Yeah.
You just got to stay calm and wait.
Wait for the crane
Now
to get
there's
you.
smoke on the engine pressed up against the foam. It's creating all these toxic fumes, and you're trapped in a dark hole. And then petrol starts dripping on you, and you're like, okay, the smoke's getting very toxic. I'm trapped. Okay, I just got to stay calm. This is where I have a lot of respect with big wave surfers because they get trapped under the waves.
Yeah.
They're down there for a long time.
Very stressful too.
I think that's
But there's no petrol under there.
But there's still oxygen down in the foam pit. There's no oxygen.
Bro,
down the
I
bottom
would
of the
rather
ocean.
be underwater than under that foam pit. I can tell you, that's my thought.
Yeah, but with the snake, not a chance. I'd rather do it to a
Not
man.
just the snakes, just
I
that
gotta forget
claustrophobic.
about this. Yeah, that's
Just the fucking helmet trapped under, can't move, breathing in shit fumes and just.
It is full
Gotta fix this
claustrophobic
chair quickly.
stuff. Yeah, it's gnarly.
Yeah, it's come loose at the back. That's sweet now.
All right, we're good.
That's fine.
We're good. Fuck. All right, so foam pits, all in all, foam pits no good.
Yeah,
Foam pits aren't good. We don't want foam pits.
Outdated, yeah. Sometimes we'll have we have a fire extinguisher there and then like a hose ready to go.
And then you got to breathe the fire extinguisher when you're trapped.
Dude, you also got 15 minutes per jump with a foam pit. So you land in the foam and then the bike gets pulled out with the crane. It takes about 10 minutes to just jam all the foam back in your hole.
Oh, wow.
Because if you jump back in the hole where the bike just got pulled out of,
You're just going to get smashed.
yeah, and you hit the bottom.
Kind of annoying if you like mess up a trick, you've got to wait 15 minutes to do it all again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now with an airbag, I can do 2-minute turnarounds on the jump.
Oh, it's 6, you can do way more.
Just pump
And it's
it
a little bit safer.
And you don't need a team of 3 people. Like I can do the airbag by myself.
Oh, can you ride off it?
Yeah, so when you land on the airbag, I can
seen.
land on my airbag and not crash. And
Oh, wow.
then just stop and just like wait for it to settle and then just slowly ride
People
off.
don't understand the extremities that you guys go to for this shit. It's crazy. It's like you're dedicating your life to this. Like,
Yeah, it's
full on life. You know very well. It's like you said, a few people unfortunately lost their lives. It's like, you know, it could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
as brutal as that is, that's the reality of it. It's like people die in that sport. It's a fucking mad sport. Like,
yeah.
so.
And every time you put on your helmet, you got to put. I love this actual topic actually because every time you put on your helmet, you got to know the risk that you're taking. The standard jump that we jump all the time, it's like 75 feet. It's a standard freestyle ramp onto a dirt down ramp. We go roughly 10 meters high. And when I flip that jump, I have the same adrenaline as if I'm walking to the toilet to take a piss in the middle of the night.
Yep.
So the adrenaline's like, it's not there because you've done so many. But now when you drive a car, you're playing chicken when you're going to work, whatever. You're playing chicken on a road with a dotted white line. You're texting. You don't know what state that other person's in when you're playing chicken with this person.
Yep.
They could be coming from some.
I think that a lot. I think it
heroin
just bang.
bender.
I think people are gonna do that to me. I get scared.
But you got it's a thought that it's a reality
Yeah.
that is a possibility. You don't want to wig out, but you don't know what state that other person's in. Now, mum's driving to work with the kids in the back, and she's texting on her phone and playing chicken. To me, that is the most dangerous, mind-blowing, craziest thing you could possibly think of, or put your family or kids in. So, like, just being oblivious. So now if I'm going and doing gnarly stunts on my dirt bike, I know my equipment's good, all this certain stuff. So to me, I'm actually at peace with myself. That's why I enjoy skydiving and base jumping so
We
much.
trust your own ability to do things, and you're in full control.
Yeah.
It's like me, if I drive a little bit silly, it's like, cool, I feel pretty comfortable driving a bit silly or whatever, because I know I feel in control.
Yeah.
But then if I'm in the car with someone else and they're driving silly, I'm not as comfortable. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, is this person as confident as I am when I drive silly? I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's a relationship you have with yourself. And then that comes through self-love and all that kind of stuff. So I think for like the whole build-up of this triple, how gnarly it was and how to deal with my emotions. And then like you obviously being there in the night, like how long the night dragged out, how it happened on Monday night.
Yeah.
It was meant to go ahead at like 7 o'clock. I don't think I went
You
to
had
like
weather changes, all sorts of shit, eh?
30, yeah, and then you got rain, and then you're wigging out of the wheels going to grip up on the lip. Like your mind plays every trick you could possibly think of, but then it just comes down to the relationship you have with yourself.
What do you do
how
for
you
like a
talk to
warm-up
the
routine?
thoughts. That's another thing. So like usually I always compete in freestyle where you do the full course.
Yep.
And you do all the different tricks and stuff. So
Yeah.
usually that's how I'm warm. I've just done freestyle and warm. So I had to drop out of that because I thought I broke my wrist. Still a bit swollen. On Friday I messed up a triple and landed on my head and just like hurt my wrist. And which sucked because I had like I attempted 3 and I landed 3. So on my 4th one, I was like, I'll just do one onto the airbag at the event and then I'm good to go. And that one I landed on my head. So it was really good that I landed on my head because it could have got me down the track more.
Exactly.
Learn what not to
That
do.
could have
That's a good
been
way to look
that
at
could
it.
have been the one to the ramp.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. So it was a sick gift for that, like, for me, and just to reset myself.
Exactly.
But it made the stress levels double.
Yeah, no shit.
To show that it can happen, I guess.
So I'm like,
and
fuck me, now I've got to not ride my bike for 3 days because the event was meant to go ahead on Saturday. It got dragged out till Monday night because of the weather.
Yep.
So it was already like stressful enough, and then it kept getting dragged. out.
Everything. It's just life throwing
Yeah.
obstacles.
How did you land on your head? So like, did you just not pull back enough? Did you not go
'Cause
fast enough?
Yeah, so doing 3 rotations, you have to get everything perfect. A
Yep.
double flip's still hard. There's only a handful of guys in the world that do double flips. Like there's under
You come out and hucked that straight away.
15 guys. Yeah, that's my first jump of the night.
And he's when he did a double flip. I'm like, I thought he was doing the triple. I was like, oh, what the? I got my phone out quickly. I was freaking.
Oh, dude, it sucked. It was my first jump. Like, I still get scared when I do double flips. Like, it's still a scary trick. There's only 10 to 15 guys in the world that do it.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that can
Wow.
do a double flip. So it's like, it's still a new trick. It's still
Yeah,
really
right.
gnarly. So to warm up on that
Yeah.
was like,
It caught me off guard.
I'm trying to figure out how to, and I was unsure like how this jump was going to react because we made the ramp so much bigger. So I wasn't sure how I was going to react, how I was going to land, all them kind of things. So I floated 2 doubles, and then I was like, all right, now I just got to pull as hard as I can and just hope it comes around.
Yeah. So that ramp is that the second biggest ramp in the world? I swear I heard them say.
There's definitely
Or one of the biggest in the world?
Sorry, in competition
Oh,
specs.
that's what
so
it was.
Travis
Okay.
at his house, he's a madman, and he's built like jumps probably 3 sizes out. Like it's insane.
Yeah, the first triple flip was double that.
yeah,
The ramp.
easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
The first thing I saw of Travis Pastrana years ago was him skydiving with no parachute.
That was
That was
I
fucking
remember
nuts.
watching
I
that.
wanted to do that back in the day. I was like, I want to do that.
He still can.
Really?
It's not too late.
They would never allow that in Australia, surely.
Nah,
So
definitely
strict
not
here.
Australia. Very strict.
Harry will catch her.
I nearly.
If it's for a charity, I'd do it.
I nearly.
Just jump out and let someone catch me.
He's wise, right?
It's a win-win situation. If I get caught and they catch me, amazing.
Not much pressure's on you. It's all on like the people catching you.
Yeah, and if
Surely.
they don't catch me, I'll go out a hero.
That's very.
I'll dress as Superman. Superman couldn't fly.
I could definitely think of worse ways to die.
Yeah.
Could there ever be a day where someone does a quad triple backflip?
I reckon yes. Yeah.
So
Really?
I was talking about this yesterday. So I don't know because I know nothing about motorbikes, right? But do you know Travis's ramp that he had for the first triple flip? Imagine your bike much lighter and better than the first bike he would have done, I assume.
Yeah.
If you got the same run up on the same ramp,
These conversations. have
could
been
you
getting
pull 4? That, right?
These conversations have been getting thrown.
I was
around a
thinking
lot.
about it straight
We were
away.
all drinking beers that
Yeah,
night.
what's the
change room.
most extreme you can go? Like,
Like,
I'd love to see it.
Because you were flipping quite fast. Imagine you on a ramp
Yeah.
twice as high
And I
with a
believe-
way bigger run up.
And I believe that ramp wasn't getting us spinning as fast as we could either.
Yeah.
Yeah. J.O.'s are really good, the other guy that landed.
So
J.O.
he'd been
Archer.
training for 3 years, right?
Yeah, he'd been at just that trick. Like, he dedicated his whole bike setup. He stopped all his
Wow.
other normal riding. He just just purely rode a dirt bike, just a big ramp ride.
Wow.
So for all his training, he'll just go and do big weight sessions, and then his first jump of the day, he's just ready to take a hit.
Wow.
Like fucking hit. So like when we were training, like the amount of hits we were taking on airbags, like it looked like we were coming out of getting bashed from like it was gnarly.
So yeah, coming in. So you took it on 2 weeks or a few weeks notice. Is that right? Or, no, or you decided like a few weeks before?
Yeah. So because with my injury, I had to wait as long as I could to the event, and then have a huck week and just fully see what I could get done. And then I was very grateful, and like it did work.
Yep.
I think a lot of it had to do with my bike setup.
Yep.
I did a lot of homework on my bike setup.
It had holes all through it, pretty much. I saw.
One radiator, half a litre of petrol in it. So we got 2 radiators to cool the engine down. That's why my engine was overheating. I took one off, and we had heaps of like custom hoses.
You can see on the second flip, your bike's just smoking.
Yeah.
Wow.
There wasn't much time.
That's why I love this shit. I would never have even thought the amount of little things that you guys have to do outside of that as opposed to just doing the trick. It's like everything you do outside of that's what matters more than the actual trick.
Yeah, every bit adds up. It's no different going into a fight, training, diets, the correct training, the correct recovery. All those 1%ers are just
It's like Atomic Habits, a book that I read. It's like every 1%
Habit
better every
stacking.
day is 30% better every month, and then it's like a few months and you're 100%.
Yeah, flow state and habit stacking. I think that's probably my.
Look, I've done a few
favourite
double
topics.
backflips, and I couldn't imagine doing a triple.
Yeah.
Do you think you would ever try quad? Is that something you would ever even like?
It's possible. It's like I don't.
We'll see what Monster offers him.
It's too early, I guess. Hey, way too early.
If you're watching this, Monster, she might try a quadruple for you.
It's possible with the right stage and but
You've done it on Monday, I guess. Don't want to think about it.
You just got to be doing stuff for the right reasons. Are you doing it because you want it to be the biggest, gnarliest human ego? Like, why are you actually wanting to do it?
Yeah.
And I think if I had a good enough reason, I knew I wanted to do it for the right reasons, I could. It's 100%. I'm going to say right now, it's 100% possible, and it will take a lot of heart and just
commitment.
Yeah,
it's overcoming that fear as well to just try it. Like,
It's fear, and it is science now. It's just doing maths and figuring out what reacts. And I know my bike setup that I had still has a lot more room for improvement. I use my freestyle suspension for it that I ride the whole freestyle course with. I had it fully maxed out, everything as hard as it could go, and it was still really soft. And so there's heaps of room for improvement with my bike setup and stuff still. So now I have the knowledge, and I know I could probably do it. It's just, don't know. Just
you wouldn't want to think about it.
I gotta have my wires right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
When did you get into Nitro Circus?
I was 21 years old. Never thought I'd meet the guys. So I moved to the Gold Coast when I was 19 from Canberra. I got offered.
Oh, you're from Canberra?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yeah.
I've been there twice.
Yeah, sick, because you're Newcastle boy, eh?
Yeah. I just went there a couple of times. I know me and Shami went there for like a club gig once, and like I just went there for a trip once to see a bird, and it's a cool spot.
Ah, sick.
I don't mind it there. Just no beach.
Yeah, just no beach. It's all right. I enjoyed growing up there, and I had a good life growing up there.
Yep.
But I kind of...
You wanted more for yourself.
Couldn't really see myself going back there.
Yeah, no, I feel that's the same as me with my hometown. It's like nothing really going
Sometimes
on.
you just got to get out to,
Yeah.
grow.
And the reason I say that is because the average human there, they're also lovely and nice, but if you go to the shops on the Gold Coast here, or you go somewhere, they're just smiling, encouraging you and all this stuff. And then the next part of the conversation you hear on the Gold Coast, like, oh, but that person's fake, they're not this, that. But all I'm thinking is they're having a go. I don't care if they're trying too hard, they're being fake, whatever it is. They are doing something, and then... versus the people that sit at home and are criticising and judging, and they're all...
I love this topic. I could talk about this shit for days because where I'm from, bro, I copped this.
Yeah.
I grew up, I was never like the cool popular person. I had plenty of friends, played footy. I was friends with most of the boys in my town and whatnot. Started the videos. Everyone's like, oh, you're attention seeking. You're never going to get anywhere. Fucking, we're wasting your time.
Doing shit.
And I was like, at least I'm fucking trying. I was like, oh, you need a plan B. Go do a course, do a trade. I was doing bricklaying. I was there for a year and a half. Like, I fucking hate this shit. Like, respect to the people that do it. There's no, like, if people are doing trade work, we need tradies. Like, it's an important job, and good on them for doing it. If they're happy doing it, amazing. But I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I just was like, I don't want a plan B, because then subconsciously I know my plan A can fail because I've got something to fall on. I don't want to fall back on something. I want to fall forward and just keep... I'd rather spend my whole life chasing what I really want to do. And even if I never achieved it, I would die knowing I was working towards what I wanted to do. You know,
only fail if you give up. That's it.
This is true, but I know what it's like to be from a small sort of town area where most people know each other, you know?
Yeah.
And people trying to step outside the box to do bigger things. The first people are going to hate on that and try and bring in people in your town.
Yeah.
And then years and years later, after I moved out of there, cut contact with pretty much everybody.
You have to if you want to get traction and you want to do.
Can't hang around arguing and entertaining that shit for too long. Otherwise, you're just going to drain your own shit and never get anywhere. So I fucked off, got out of there.
Yeah.
Went to Newcastle after it, and that was no much better. I just started meeting more people, and it just got more fake, more toxic, more people hating, trying to bring me down, slow me down. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. Got out of there. 2-3 years later, once I did well and made something of myself, everyone's like, oh, hey, man, can you plug my fucking t-shirt company? Plug this protein thing for me. And I'm like, where were you a few years ago? Fucking sharing my videos, calling me a fuckwit and an attention seeker. Like, I don't know. It's a real touchy topic to me because I've been through heaps of that sort of shit. So it's
it was a really big topic I wanted to ask you today. And for me, growing up and like where I was saying how I moved to the Gold Coast, I was surrounded by guys that were 10 years older than me.
Yep.
And they were professional freestyle motocross riders. So I always called myself Pace because they were all copy.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be like them. I wanted to learn off them. I respected them. I hung out with them. I copied everything that they did. So like if they were going to the gym, I just go show up where they were. If they were partying,
you are who you surround yourself with.
I was doing what they were doing. Exactly. So I could switch off and just go, I'm doing the same as my idols. So I could then go as hard as I could on a day-to-day basis. And I had a structure. I had a fucking Google. I had Google Maps on. So for you growing up in your image, your belief, like you coming out of Newcastle and then where you were at and how you had to leave like all your peers and stuff. And then like you didn't have a distinctive, I'm a professional tennis player, football
No, there's no like athlete stuff. There's no like actor. It's nothing, you know. It's just like a social. It was an early day in social media. There wasn't really anybody I could look to and go, well, this person's doing it or that person did it. You know, it was very
nothing.
early.
You created your own path.
Yeah.
And to have self-belief, like it's so hard to keep the momentum going and have the self-love and the structure of trusting the process. So to watch where you've grown into and not have the copy-paste formulas and things like that and then build this whole new journey and structure, even still to this day, the way you're redesigning it, like how you've changed over the few years of like your image, your why, but you're like, you refuse to make the same repetitive content that you've done just to hit those paychecks. Or I have overheads, or I need to keep, on books, I've seen X amount of come in over these years. I can't let this next year look worse than that year. So how do I got to keep putting out, like then your wire goes wrong. And
I love that, bro.
And then you start just transitioning, you redesign your whole image, everything. So like watching you and how true you have stayed to yourself the last few years of not being repetitive and another sellout, or just whatever, however you want to word it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and having the why and the structure, it does take one to know one, but and I really admire that. And even that's bouncing from where you came from and what it grew into, and then how everything's kind of fizzled. And when I say fizzled, just slowed down during COVID, I feel like, or even all the algorithms on like Instagram,
it's crazy, bro.
Slowed down, like,
it's going to shit.
Yeah, like everything's like, when I say,
you know why,
fizzled,
bro?
it's just changing.
It's because every fucking second person's trying to be an influencer, trying to be a YouTuber. Millions of people have podcasts now. It's like, that was the thing, and it's like it was well said. It's like now everyone's trying to do that sort of stuff, and it's like for me, I could be probably so much further ahead. I could be making 10 times the money I'm making. But I don't really get any pleasure out of doing the things that we're making. Like, I don't want to keep doing the same stuff forever. And it's like, but it comes back to being grateful for what I do have. And like, I'm grateful for what I have done, you know, not like, fuck, I could be here doing that, could be doing that. It's like, yes, I could be in a way better position. I could be making 10 times the money, but am I going to be happy doing that? No, I've made shitloads of money in a non-arrogant way. It's not something that made me any happier. Yeah. And, you know, I didn't want to sound ungrateful, but it's been great to help my family out and do little things like that, put them in better spots. But that's the thing. I could be still making the same videos I made 8 or 9 years ago, making shitloads of money, but it just doesn't make me happy. It kills my fucking soul. Yeah. And it's like, I've spent years floating around having no fucking clue what I actually want to do anymore. Yeah. And like the good thing is I've got the freedom now. I've got a bit of financial. No, exactly.
You're not just going, I'm going to just push this, I'm going to force this. Like you've surrendered to finding out the correct answer.
I don't care how long it takes. Like as long as I'm like training, being healthy and doing what I can do in the meantime and doing the bare minimum, like I'm not sitting around being lazy doing nothing, as long as I'm working towards something. But it's like it comes down to like just doing what you want to do. And it's like I lost track of what I actually wanted to do for years myself, because everyone started doing it. And I'm like, I don't want to be doing something that everyone's doing. It's like, I want to do my own shit, you know? Like, and I think that's what's unique about you guys. There's only fucking, 10 to 15 people are doing double backflips, let alone
blows
triple.
my mind.
Yeah.
It blew me in my pants.
It blew my mind because you just come out and threw it straight away. I didn't like. I've
landed it clean.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
And even the commentators like, oh, here comes Harry Bink. Oh, he's doing a double flip. I don't think I was ready either. That was funny.
Yeah, no, it's a bit on.
Sorry.
Packing.
Ah, they're warm.
No, we might have to timestamp this and do a little blur.
Very warm.
Sorry about that.
When's the next party, boys?
Oh, it's holding me dirty, daddy.
No, how you going? Have you been, you're probably trying to just stay as healthy as possible. Like
Kind of, bro, since surgery. It's been horrible mentally, bro. It's been the biggest challenge I've had. Harder than any breakup, harder than anything really, bro. Like, it's just been fucked. Like, sitting around, like I said, like, there's nothing worse than when you're a super active, high and
wipe my face with my fucking hand. I said it straight away.
Good ball sack. My balls are sweaty, too. Very sweaty.
That's all right.
But yeah, bro, it's like, it's just been so challenging, bro. Like, and, you know, I think when I get out of this, I'll be so much stronger than I was before. Yeah, I've broken down more times in the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
And fucking cried like a fucking little wuss. Fucking had breakdowns every second day, snapped out, just put my hand through walls and everything, bro. And it's just, people don't understand, you know, like being on and off these opioid drugs, being looking for other things to take, and it's like just sitting around doing nothing. I'm a high active ADHD million mile an hour guy. I'd train for 3-4 hours a day if I could. I'd love to be doing traveling around the world, fucking jumping off boats and cliffs in the Greek islands, doing boxing, like fucking myself up for videos and doing fun shit, but I can't. And like sitting around longer than 2 days doing nothing drives me nuts. Drives a lot of people nuts. And let alone the last 7 weeks, been able to do fuck all. And like you said, it is first world problems, but to me, it's just been challenging because it's not what I'm used to. So
it's hard to lose the momentum.
Dude, it's fucked. And it's like just trying to recollect and rebuild, brain chemicals all over the fucking place, you know, becoming dependent on the painkillers after surgery, which no doctors ever warn you about. If you get surgery, be wary that the drugs they're going to put you on are going to fuck you up. They're good to take when you need them, for sure. They cut right through my fucking stomach and my abs and everything, so I needed the painkillers, but...
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, bro.
That internal stuff is
Show you the scar.
Yeah, dude.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Decent.
It's a bit cheeky. Yeah, that's the scar.
What's been your worst injury? Your biggest one?
Like, pain-wise, my femur.
That would be fucking horrendous, bro.
It was actually an easy one for me. It was lots of pain and it was gnarly, but I could still, 1 week after I started walking on it, and then I just like kind of did some squats.
Some squats? What? Walking to squats.
Yeah.
How'd you break it? I want to know like the situation. How did it break?
I was at Nitro World Games. The last Nitro World Games I actually rode in was not like, obviously I didn't steer the triple at the one that went, but the one before that, I was doing a front flip lazy boy.
Okay.
Where you do like a front flip and then lie down on the bike. For the rotation.
I knew what trick that was. Lucky you didn't. Sorry about it. I've done a few of them. That's why I know.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I missed my timing on it, and I over rotated the front flip, and it was on that exact down ramp.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Did you hear it snap?
Yeah,
because those motherfuckers are loud when they break.
Everyone said that.
One of my mates, an old friend, when we played rugby, bro, he went to sidestep off it, snap the femur, and what's the other bone? There's the two main fib and tib. That's one. Snap, bro. It literally sounded like someone had a plank of wood and cracked a metal pole with it. It was like quack. Wow. And I was off, like taking a breather.
His femur and tib.
Both, bro. They both
stepping.
Must have been heaps of little fractures in there already, just stress fractures or something, and just went and just. I was on the sideline. I could fucking hear that cunt. Everyone just was like. What was that? And obviously that adrenaline, bro, when stuff like that sometimes happens, you don't even feel it until you look at the fucking thing.
You don't.
Like one of the boys had his ankle turned all the way around the wrong way in a scrum. Someone landed on it and it ripped his ankle right. His foot was facing the wrong way. And he didn't even know. He tried to walk on it. He looks at it and he goes, fuck! Look down and that's when you'd feel it. But man, them leg breaks, they're nasty, bro. And they're a long recovery, yeah?
Yeah.
Not for you, just doing squats.
Yeah, well, if you get a rod put in it, it's just how much pain you can tolerate. If you don't have a rod in, you have to do the casting and just
got the rod?
Play the game. I got a rod in my femur. Yeah.
So does that make it harder to break now?
Yeah, they say you should get it out because if you bend the rod when it's in there, it'll shatter the bone all around it, and it can be a risk of amputation.
Oh, wow.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't be your friend if you lost a leg. I'm just joking, everyone, if you have one leg. Be better.
And then so I had a rod in my left hip and fib. I got that taken out not too long ago. But I also had 20 screws ring-bracing my right heel and then some plates in my ankles from when I was younger. I ran out of talent. I actually ran out of fuel. I forgot to put petrol in my bike when I was doing my carpentry apprenticeship. And I rushed out to go riding. It was like half an hour left a day. And my bike ran out of fuel and I jumped off the bike and my feet hit the ground pretty hard and shattered my heel. Like just like your heels, your calcaneus bones like that. It was like.
Have you kept track of how many bones you've broken?
Over 20. I stopped counting.
I've never broken a
Stop
bone
counting.
ever.
Really?
In my life, ever.
I fractured my skull.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was shit.
Wow.
When I was 17. Probably explains a bit.
Yeah.
I was on the back of a ute in here in the Gold Coast. Like, we come up here for New Year's, all the boys. We used to just drive up in cars, just sleep in the cars, bender and whatever. And I was cooked, man. Like, I was still hammered. It was about 6 a.m. New Year's Day. I think it was 2011 maybe. I was probably 17, driving through one of them car parks near the beer garden in Surfers there.
Yeah.
The car park there. And we're like, on the back of a ute tray. It was a jacked up ute. We're like, duck, duck, duck. And then I came up. I don't remember anything from the day. Still to this day, I don't remember anything. Apparently, I've come up. Boom, clobbered me there on one of the big poles that hang down.
Yeah.
The big concrete poles. Then I fell off the other side of the ute and smacked the other side of my face. And there was like something wrong that side as well as the fucking fracture. And I was bleeding out my ears, nose, mouth. Everyone just thought I was taking the piss. And like I couldn't get up.
Yeah.
No one called an ambulance for like 5-10 minutes.
Wow.
Everyone's like, oh, he's just joking. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah. And so it's just fucking, it's whatever. I survived somehow.
Savage, dude. You have probably better injuries than me. That's really gnarly.
No, you've had more, but yeah, fractured skull, not good.
Yeah.
Have you ever broken a bone like landing in the foam pit and you've just got to wait there while everything's just getting taken out?
I haven't, but
It's a really good question.
I worked really hard on that one.
guys have broken their backs in foam pits.
Oh, then you just got to wait there while snakes are crawling all around your face.
Top Dog broke his tip and fib in a foam pit once.
Oh, because you just got to wait there for fucking until everything is craned out, right?
Yeah, everyone, the boys will jump in and just carry you out.
Yeah, true.
Fuck, man.
We had a kid dislocate his hip in the foam pit.
That wouldn't feel good.
Dislocate your hip.
Yeah.
Are you off to the side?
That's
a bit?
down here. This is your hip.
No, like, I mean, mate, like, are you like a little bit to the side or something? I've never seen him dislocate.
Fuck.
Imagine
Imagine getting stuck like this.
Your body's just slightly offset.
It's actually a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck, man. I just don't like the idea of being in a foam pit with a helmet on and not being able to move. That would stress me out.
I've been in foam pits, but just the snake thing wigs me. I used to flip into like foam pits on scooters. I could backflip scooters when I was younger.
Sick.
And I've been in foam pits, just the snake thing.
No, the
wigs me out.
trampoline parks I jump in them all the time and I'm
Oh
chilling.
yeah, true.
I'm more
yeah.
scared of the band-aids in the foam pits.
Really?
At the kids' parks in there.
Oh, yeah. You don't know what you'll get from those things.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, well.
So what do you reckon the next big stunt is for you? You still have no idea, just fucking plotting along for now and...
Big stunt. I don't know. I feel like with the way action sports is going, it's not like big gnarly stunt.
Yup.
I feel like it's just. I feel like in a lot of sports, so you got soccer, like racing or the unknown. You never know what's going to happen in a match. With freestyle, it's just how big and gnarly the jump is. It can be repetitive to a point. So what I want to see in our sport is bringing out more character, personality, energy. Like, I think that's a way that it's going to connect with the next part.
What
of the
about
youth.
things, for example, I don't know, I'm not like that educated, but like I'm interested to learn, things like, do people jump over like the Great Wall of China on motorbikes and do crazy shit like that?
So a good buddy of mine, Robbie Madison.
Oh, he did
just
the-
was staying.
Yeah, I know,
he's
I've
in
heard of him, yeah.
America. Yeah, he's a savage, but he's come up. But when I say he's a savage, I mean he comes up with these bright ideas, and you know how you have every person in the room trying to talk you out of the
Yeah.
world. You want to do that crazy thing. Like he has done, like he's the next
He
generation.
jumped onto a building or
of
off a
evil-
building? What
Yeah,
was
he's the
that?
next generation of
Yeah.
Evel Knievel. Like,
Yeah, right.
and he's done the gnarly in Paris.
Yeah.
Jumped up on it. But he finds all these really cool landmarks around the world and he designs his stunts there, gets all the permits.
That's
He
genius.
does all the work. But to do all that work and you have a set date. Now, if there's wind that day, rain, the weather's not on
Yeah.
point, you're doing this world's and he's jumping world distance records, but he picks like cool places around the world to do them.
Yeah.
So he does a massive job. Like, he's the only action sports athlete, like after Evel Knievel or like Trav's done it. But the way that I've seen Matto fill up New Year's Eve events, he sell his ticket sales, the way he builds these events and he does it on his own and just 100% himself. Like usually at Nitro Circuits, it's a whole tour, it's a whole group of athletes. So to him to just sell these one-off stunts, these one-off stadiums, it's just
Impressive.
Yeah.
massive amounts of pressure on yourself to do it. Okay, go do the stunts one thing, but to do it when you have to go, like on TV time, and then do it with the weather, winds, and when you're feeling it, not feeling it, like that makes it twice as hard.
So many little things.
Just twice as hard. So to do the triple like on the weekend was like, it was sick, but it was twice as hard because I had to do it on their time, and then obviously injured and just fucking need to pull my tampon down.
I saw you walking around like you were flicking your goggles, you were drinking waters, and you were going to piss, come back drinking more water, flicking the goggles.
Fuck, man. Because it's like...
Just trying to get that focus in, dialed in.
You just have to be at like 200% focused. Like you just have to be so on and so ready.
Exactly.
And you need all your muscle memory to be like perfect.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it just doesn't work.
One fraction of a second wrong and boom, fucked.
Yeah, like if you know when you're doing an explosive squat, like and you're feeling the best. Imagine if you got a mark on the wall and you got the highest jump, like, and then you wait 2 hours and then try to get your perfect jump when you're fully warmed up.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Correct. So I have to get that perfect jump at the top of the lip, like just explosiveness through the foot pegs and just get that timing perfect.
Yep.
If I miss it by a fraction, I'm landing on my head. So
yeah.
when you start putting this amounts of pressure on yourself, you stop thinking clearly, and then that's when you make mistakes.
Yep.
So like when J.O. Archer, he went first, he landed it, he stomped it. It was like, he's a close mate of mine. I was so pumped, so stoked for him, but I'm like, you have to stay numb to it and focus on
yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, does that mess with your head?
Oh, it's like really wanting, you got your dream girlfriend, you love her, you're like, holy fuck, we're gonna get married, I love this girl so much, but you just got to quickly watch your mate fuck her, and then just kill your ego, don't react,
And then you've got to go fuck her.
This has happened to me.
Be friends with your mate, go shake his hand, you can't be angry at him, like just let him, because he wanted to whatever, he's worked just as hard, like okay, wait, okay, when you want to, okay, now you can go marry her. So
that's the best way to put it.
Random question, actually, talking about fucking. Random question. You know, like people, even like fighters, boxers, MMA fighters and stuff, they don't like have sex, jerk off or anything like that. When they build up, do you like? Because obviously for me, jerking off, having sex and that stuff, it calms me quite a bit.
Fucking oath, it does.
Man. Would you have a break from that before these things, or would you do it to like keep yourself calm?
Yeah,
well, no, because like you got so much stress, so much like pressure to get this right, and it's like. It is Russian roulette to a certain point. If you get everything right, you will land the trick. If you don't, you're going to have a 100-kilo bike coming down and land on your head, just pumping you. Last time I rode this event onto this down ramp, I broke my femur. Yeah. So it's like everything's in your head, lots of stress. How do you get away from these thoughts? Whack it off.
Yep.
When you're thinking about all your problems, all your fears coming into an event when you're whacking off.
Yeah.
Or if you're getting drunk, or your mind's off it.
Yeah.
So then
Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, how many times did you do it?
But you start abusing these things, and with these like being high ego athletes, how we are, you want to stay in your flow state. You want to have fun. You want to keep everything fun, because then you're calm and then you're yourself. That's how I relate to being myself, by having fun.
Yep.
So then yes, you abuse everything else.
I would be.
Alcohol, whatever.
I do it all the time, even though I don't have anything coming up. I just do it. It's just fun.
Like some people would smoke weed.
Busting nuts everywhere I go. I'll be doing it in public bathrooms and everything. Just try and stop me.
Well, it's a flow state. It's just like you want to just keep the
it
vibes
calm.
going.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you starve yourself from all those things, and your brain will be more scattered. It's like you need to do the things that work.
Yeah. And then for some athletes, like you will say, I don't want to smoke weed because I'm going to feel groggy in the morning. But how much pressure and how much load like we put on ourselves. How much load we put on ourselves?
I know a little bit about that.
Too much jacking off, it sounds like.
I always just come on my belly and rub it in. That's what I do.
How many loads are you on yourself?
When you can't find the cum rag.
I remember what Kristen told us to buy. He always tries to like, nut and get in his belly button.
Land it in his belly button.
Interesting for a 30-year-old man, but that is what it is. We love him. We love him for
exposed him here too.
Sorry, Kristen. We could be talking about anybody.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we've been going on for a little while today, I believe. What's that?
You got a bullseye going.
Yeah, make a dartboard. make a point. That could be a funny video.
Record your results.
Anyways, you're an impressive dude. Mentally, physically, spiritually, you're a fucking... I appreciate you coming on today, bro.
Dude, thank you for having me.
I don't even know how long we've been going for. How long have we been going for? Over an hour now?
Yes, sir.
Time just goes by quick, eh?
That feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, bro, it just goes like that. I could talk for hours, especially to you. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty boring.
Hey, I must say, when we're partying together or when we're sober, we have pretty similar conversations.
We do, bro. We get stuck.
I suck Lockie every time. Every time we're Benham, we're on a boat and it's like bitches everywhere. The hottest
It's just me and Harry at the front of the boat, just a beer in the hand, fucking DNM at it all night.
And I'm like, I suck Lockie.
That's all I do, bro, at parties now. All my big
love
parties,
it.
I spend 9% of my nights in different rooms just DNMing with people and having chats and that is fun. But yeah, like it's good. It's good to sit down, have a nice fucking chat, learn a bit more, show all the viewers and everyone around there. Anyone that's living under a rock and hasn't heard of him, his socials will be in the description of this. Make sure you go check him out. Check him out with his shirt off. He looks fantastic. Great human being inside and out. Very impressive. Very inspirational as well for how you hold yourself and carry yourself through injury, stay motivated, and still making it pretty much look easy on the day. So that's a credit to your hard work. You're a great, beautiful human being, and we love you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Right back at ya.
See you guys.
Fuck yeah, boys.